Paranormal Punches is part of the Podbelly Network. Go to podbelly.com for more great podcasts.
Hey, y'all. This is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey, friends. I'll do that again. What the hell was that?
That was me popping the cork on my knee.
Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Punchers, where Nash just popped a cork on his mead.
Oh, shit. Now the cork's in the way. Oh, my God. I'm making a mess.
I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash.
Well, oh, I interrupted Dave. This episode is not going as planned. Welcome to the chaos, everybody. I hope you're doing well. On this episode, we're just going to keep it going no matter how much we mess up. We're going to talk about tulpas.
Tulpas with tulpas?
I knew.
You know what?
When we were at the bar, we were trying to do an over-under bet on if Nash would mention tapas.
Yeah.
Tapas, baby?
And I was like at a 50 to 1 odds. But Lish and I both wanted to take that you would.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know that anybody who listens to this show would ever take that Nash wouldn't mention food,
Right. Yeah.
Especially one that sounds like the topic.
That's we asked. We couldn't find anybody to take these odds. But this was a topic suggested by Kevin J. and Ray Bands. Thanks, guys. We finally got to it, but this time it only was like 3 or 4 months since you gave us this topic idea. So this is we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're getting better.
So we got this topic. We got some listener feedback. We got an interesting listener story that is weird and creepy. And who knows what else we'll get into. I mean, Nash is into the mead, so that's how this show is going.
Oh, jeez.
There's days you feel like I should just hit stop, hit record again, and start all over, but we're going to keep flowing. Lish,
Yes.
it's always up to you. In fact, do some listener feedback right out of the gate. Kevin J. had mentioned that after the last episode, was it 116? He's like, I feel like you guys are back. And this was my favorite episode since the Yeti one. I'm like, have we not been good for like 60 episodes for you, Kevin J?
Since the Yeti? Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
So since this is his suggested topic, boy, Kevin, I hope you like this episode because we're apparently not on a good streak for you.
Yeah. Nash needs to take more breaks and then come back.
He only took
when
one.
I come back, there could be a streaking when I come back. Get it?
boy.
No video.
Unless you're on Patreon, and then we'll have that up.
God.
Wait, I thought we were trying to get people to sign up for Patreon.
That's right. That's right. For the $150 a month subscription.
Oh, boy.
Nash reads poetry in the nude.
Ooh.
Ooh, I would do that.
No,
Okay.
I'm not filming it. So, nor editing it, nor uploading it. So, we're not doing that.
You're just going to turn the computer off and be like, go ahead, Nash.
Yeah, I'm done. Nope, we're moving on. Lish, we need you. We need your help.
Okay. So I've got some words from howstuffworks.com. Okay. Many of us grew up with an imaginary friend by our side. Maybe you still like to personify your favorite character or superhero, but these companions typically don't usually last beyond childhood. However, there's an ancient idea gaining more and more traction in our modern world. It's the idea that given enough thought and focus, we can actually create real sentient beings. They're known as tulpas, beings or objects that are created in someone's imagination by visualization.
That's a big word.
I know.
It's okay.
Visualization techniques. Okay. So I thought that was just an interesting way to start this whole story.
Yep.
But anyway, So in mysticism,
Like Mississippi?
Yeah, I know.
Mississippi and
Wow.
mysticism and Mississippi?
In mysticism and the paranormal, a tulpa is a being or object that is created through spiritual or mental powers. It was adapted from the Tibetan world. I'm
News.
sorry. It was adapted. No.
Tibetan world news.
It was adapted from the Tibetan word sprulpa, which means emanation or manifestation. And it has origins in Tibetan Buddhism, in which the practitioner creates a sentient being through the power of thought, aka thought form. That was something that kept coming up in my research, was this term, thought form. Now, boy, that's such a hard word. Theosophist, God, Annie Besant, in her book Thought Forms, divides them into 3 different classes. Forms in the shape of the person who creates them, forms that resemble objects or people and may become ensouled by nature spirits or by the dead, and forms that represent inherent qualities from the astral or mental planes, such as emotions.
Well, I want to take you back. So
Sure.
they come in a couple different categories. One is that takes on the shape of the person who thought of it.
Yes.
As in a doppelganger.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice.
And then the second was an object. So like out of Beauty and the Beast, like a talking spoon and fork.
Right. Object or people.
Okay.
So you could choose, I guess, either. Yeah, so it's just
I like how you went to the spoon or the fork in Beauty and the Beast. There's
How about the teapot?
every other object on the planet, and you went to, oh, it's like Beauty and the Beast. Oh, with a spoon and fork. Or like a little chip the teacup.
I can show you the world. That's actually the wrong Disney movie, isn't it?
That's the wrong movie, but we get what you're going for.
Now, the term thought form was used as early as 1927 in a translation of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I did not know there was a Tibetan Book of the Dead.
I have a copy.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I did. I swear to God. I have one in the downstairs.
Oh,
It's a big, thick book that's very difficult to read.
okay.
Don't read it out
cover
loud.
ma-
No, don't read it out
Is the
loud.
cover made out of human skin? Do you?
It has a mouth on it that you have to say a secret code phrase.
Latu, Niktu, Veronis.
Okay, you would have gotten your hand eaten off. Right
Yes, I
there.
had it wrong. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, tulpas, they've also been described as magic formations generated by a powerful concentration of thought. So again, it's another thought formation, but meditation has also been attributed to it. They've also done the power of levitation, visions of the future, and out-of-body experiences have come from meditation. So they're saying it's not too far that you could maybe create something through meditation.
Okay, so everybody here on the podcast, specifically just us, okay, should have a very good example of this from our history. Very good, super good, like the best good.
Well, please tell us, Professor
Yeah,
Nash.
I know.
Oh, you're so close. Professor X in Onslaught.
What?
Didn't you all read the X-Men back in the day? X-Men comic books? The supervillain Onslaught that Professor X created was a tulpa.
Oh.
What's up? Boom. That's knowledge dropped right there.
We're not to the comic book part of the discussion, so you kind of jumped the gun, you know.
That was actually history, but you know whatever.
So the process as to how tulpas are brought to life are divided into 2 different ways: active forcing and passive forcing. Now, active forcing involves consciously thinking about the tulpa through meditation or self-hypnosis, or even drawing or painting the tulpa. Passive forcing means involving the tulpa in everyday life by simply thinking or talking to it aloud. Now, I know, Mark, you had some steps.
I do.
some steps that somebody had posted.
Yeah, on Wiki How.
Yeah.
Their slogan, Wiki How to do anything. So, yeah, someone has a post here about how to create a tulpa. Part 1, planning. Number 1, think long and hard before you create a tulpa. Like, maybe you should put some thought. Do I want to try to bring something to creation?
You need to think long and hard about thinking long and hard.
And number 2, part 2, plan out your tulpa. Start thinking about it, what it looks like, which leads to part 3, plan your tulpa's appearance.
Ooh.
Sketch it out. Part 4, plan your tulpa's personality. And that takes us to, that was part 1, couple steps. Here's part 2, called visualization. The steps in there are visualize your tulpa. Sit down and close your eyes. 2, try to touch your tulpa in your imagination.
Don't touch it too much. It'll make you go blind.
Try to feel their hair, if any, and details on their body, if any. 3, create a scent, if you wish.
Oh.
That's
a
gross.
smell you would associate your tulpa with. Nash, I'm assuming it's tacos.
You assume very kindly.
Number 4, visualize your tulpa's movements. How will your tulpa move and walk? 5, wonderlands. If you want, you can create a place in your imagination called a wonderland. And I guess that's where you kick it with your tulpa.
Oh.
See, that was, not to interrupt, but that was one of the big things that I found in the research is that the Wonderland was a huge part of this. It was your sandbox where you created a fantasy world that the tulpa could live, could exist, could do what it needed to do to become sentient and learn and grow. And without the Wonderland, it was sort of stuck and stagnated. So I'm surprised in the Wiki How it was that far down on the list.
Well, this is a place you can work on your tulpa. Yeah.
Right.
3, narration. Talk to your tulpa. 2, what's this one?
Your numbers are getting all bass-ackwards.
Yeah. Well, there's like several parts, and within those parts are the bullet points I'm reading. Part 4, check sentience. Number 1, determine whether your tulpa is sentient. Close your eyes and tell your tulpa that I'm opening my mind. You want to walk in? And then we have...
I know what mine would say.
No.
And we have part 5, moving your tulpa into reality. Go for a walk and imagine your tulpa with you. And then, of course, you finish it off by visiting tulpa forums to learn more.
Wow.
What did we learn, everybody?
Plan your tulpa.
Plan, visualize,
Yep.
talk to it, take it into your sandbox, and then bring it into the real world. And hope you didn't.
Nashlandia is real.
What if your tulpa's Godzilla?
Could be.
And you try to make it sentient, walk into my brain, and then bring it into the real world.
Now, modern practitioners or tulpamancers, which we will get into here in a second, use the term tulpa to refer to a willed imaginary friend. But tulpas aren't the same as imaginary friends or hallucinations. Children tend to summon these imaginary friends and control them. Like imaginary friends, tulpas are entities generated entirely in the mind. But unlike imaginary friends, some believe that tulpas think on their own, have emotions, and their own memories. Tulpas create personalities and desires all of their own, separate from those that brought them into life. They have achieved full sentience or consciousness. So I think that's kind of it. It's bringing it to a separate, like they're not imaginary. They're their own creation, really.
Right.
Now, how often do kids have imaginary friends that are actually
Right.
poltergeist or demons?
Right. I never had one. Did you guys have any?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
You did? Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Dave, okay, tell us a story.
It's not much of a story. It's so long ago I don't remember most of it. But my imaginary friend's name was B-Duck.
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 B-Duck. And he followed me around, and I guess we hung out. I don't know. I don't
Was it
remember
a
a single
duck?
story of what we did.
Was it a duck?
I honestly don't even remember what it looked like.
B-Duck.
B-Duck.
Nash, what about your imaginary friend?
So mine was Herbie. He was Herbie the hamster. Yeah, and I used to have to. We lived relatively close to a park, which was just adjacent to an elementary school where I would ride my bike to school and whatnot. So I would be often riding home by myself, and Herbie would accompany me. And Herbie, now I actually had a hamster back at the house, so it was like the spiritual form of what was back at the house. And he could fly, and yeah, we used to go on little mini adventures.
Wow.
Now, I envision you and Herbie in a Disney style cartoon, just flying past the schoolyard and just, yeah, I think that would be super sweet.
Right.
Well, I couldn't fly. I would often ride my bike. He would be flying next to me. And then when he would get tired, he would kind of chill out on my shoulder, and we'd have a little convo on the way home.
And then you put him in the front basket of your bike, and then he would take off over the moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the Disney Pixar Inside Out?
Yeah.
I have
No,
not.
no, wait, I
have
haven't
not.
seen that one.
I know of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that one, at one point in the movie, the main star, the main emotion, meets up with the imaginary friend, and if you've seen the movie, I can picture Nash, you with Herbie, having a good time, just hanging out. You're riding all throughout. You're doing all kinds of crazy things. In the one psychedelic scene, I could see you doing that type of thing. I, on the other hand, with my imaginary friend, he's hanging on the edge of the pit of non-existence, and I'm there stepping on his fingers.
Wow, B-Duck, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Dave, let's have a conversation about your family life.
Right.
Tell us about your youth. It's okay. It's a safe space.
Sit back, relax.
It got me here.
Count backwards from 10, Dave, and you're asleep.
That's right.
Right.
Turns out it's the evil Dave.
Oh, boy. Now,
What if Dave's a tulpa?
Yeah. What if this is Tulpa?
Uh-oh.
Talking about
Tulpa
stepping
Dave.
on B-Duck's hands
Yeah.
over the edge of a pit. I got the look.
No. I didn't give a look.
Oh, okay.
I just thought there was a quiet moment, so I was like, oh, let me just keep going. And then you talked over me, so it's okay.
That's never happened either.
I know. Some claim to experience their tulpa as a real being that they can see, hear, and touch. Others, they can only perceive, and I was seeing this a lot too, a mind voice. So you only hear it in your head.
Like in Real Genius.
Okay.
For those playing along, it's the second time in the series of Paranormal Punchers he's mentioned Real Genius. Real Genius.
It's one of my favorite movies.
I know, I'm just saying, if you're keeping count.
Now, I came across the Tulpamancers, and I know, Dave, you had kind of gone into it a little bit.
Right.
So if you want to take that.
Yeah. So starting around circa 2009 on 4chan and Reddit, the Tulpamancers created a whole a community that started to thrive. And it was a place for people to post about, the tulpas they were creating and their experiences and whatnot. And on March 14th, 2012, for whatever reason that the reasons have been lost to history, that whole thread got shut down. That whole community got shut down, and a thread was recreated and became the main place to go for tulpas that was in the My Little Pony channel.
My little pony, what is friendship all about? My little pony,
Dave, what is friendship all about?
I don't even know anymore.
It's about ponies.
So I don't know if, are you guys familiar with the term brony?
Yes, I am.
So
I'm not a brony, but I'm familiar with the term.
No, I'm not. But please, everybody, do tell your experiences
enlighten
with
us.
being a brony.
So a brony is an adult male fan of My Little Pony. And it has its own community, thriving community of people who are interested in the show and all of that. But when the tulpa or tulpamancy thread came in, it started this whole wave throughout the brony community, and a lot of the members started to engage in tulpamancy to actually manifest their ideas of either My Little Pony characters or their own vision of what a character could be, and create their pony tulpas. So the tulpas and
Tulpas.
Pony tulpas.
Pony
yeah,
tulpas.
pony tulpas, and I forget what the number is. I want to say it was something like a third to a half of the brony community does engage in this, based on what the online communities show from activity. A lot of people describe it's simply a manifestation of their ideas. They've spent the time to going through, like you described, the Wiki How. Some of them do take it a little bit further and try to engage in romantic relationships with
My Little Ponies.
The pony tulpas, and that's not just for the My Little Pony community. That is the whole tulpa community, tulpamancy. People do this, and whatever character they're creating or being they're creating, some people do try to take it to romantic levels. But I have one story of somebody who it went a little bad. So
here we go. Everybody goes, oh boy.
Right.
Did a brony conjure like an evil 20-foot? Hey, I'm Sparkles.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Well, so something we haven't talked about, but in the whole tulpa, as you're building this, it's a manifestation of your design. But as soon as it becomes sentient, you no longer have full control over it. So things can get out of hand if you're not prepared. That's why a lot of what you were describing from Wiki How was make sure you're planning for this and are you ready for this? So apparently, in one case, somebody he had created this pony tulpa and engaged in a romantic relationship, and that went on for some time until he, in the real world, I don't mean to misspeak, and I don't know if that's is the tulpa not in the real world, whatever, but in a real physical female friend became his girlfriend, and the tulpa did not take kindly to that.
No.
He started having arguments with the tulpa, and it got so bad that he decided he needed to banish the tulpa. So he engaged in practices to get rid of the tulpa, which did not work. And apparently, as described, there were 6 ponies that came from a stable and started to attack him over a period of time, physically and sexually. And
6 real ponies?
He said a stable of 6 ponies were coming after him. Like his tulpa somehow
summoned 6 ponies?
Summoned more or manifested more or whatever. And so he had he was asking for advice in the community of how do I handle such a thing?
He had to fend off sexual assault from 6 ponies?
Yes.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yes, I never found a follow-up of that, of what they described for him or anything.
I mean, I'm not making fun. I'm just like, kind of like.
Were they little ponies?
Like, wow.
They were tulpas. They were mental. And,
well, that's that's Nash. Thank you. I was questioning, like, did the tulpa pony summon real ponies?
Right. Real ones
that
were
just kicked his front door down and then ran in?
Right. No. This wasn't real ponies. These were 6 tulpas.
Oh,
so the tulpa manifested its own tulpas.
Something, yes.
To wreak havoc upon.
Oh, so a tulpa creating a tulpa.
See, that's bad. That's bad.
That's not good. Yeah.
Right.
Tulpa's all the way down. I mean, that's crazy. Now, was did he give a physical description or a description anyway of his tulpa?
He did. I didn't capture notes on that one, but yes, he was very upfront of what his tulpa, what he had created, was. But I don't remember what the rest of the group was.
I think it's bad if you could create a tulpa and that tulpa can create other tulpas.
Right.
That's how they take over.
And again, diverging from the My Little Pony conversation, there was a thing of a guy who actually was trying to allow the tulpa to take over his body, not just for a small period of time, but permanently.
Oh no!
And that as in possession
go well, right? Yes, and that didn't go well, and that ended in pain and. Let me
throw this out there. Okay, so we have these people trying to they're tulpamancers. Mm-hmm. Not necromancers. What if you were trying to visualize a zombie? Are you a tulpamancer necromancer?
Well, I think the big thing is that with tulpas, they're in almost all cases there's nothing physical about them, so you're not actually bringing a zombie into the world. You have a zombie in your head that you communicate with.
But people have claimed that it has manifested.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Yeah.
But my question is, all right, so this guy was visualized this tulpa. Then it caused problems with his real relationship.
Right.
So if you're deep thinking on this tulpa, trying to manifest something that you can talk to, maybe other people can't see it. What if you're actually allowing, like hypothetically, a spirit or a demon?
Oh, don't go. I have that whole road. I've got that whole thing covered.
I'm not allowed to bring it up because you got it covered?
Well, no, I'm just saying, I was like, oh boy, this is where I went.
Well, what if you're opening yourself up? So again, Nash, I'll kick it over to you just to finish with this.
Right.
But Dave said this guy was allowing the tulpa to come in and take over his body. That sounds like straight up possession.
Yeah.
So what if all they're doing is opening themselves up to something paranormal that they have no idea they're about to get an ass whooping from?
Right.
That's exactly what I started thinking. I was like, wow, these people are really coming up with these like training regiments almost on how to create these tulpas. Well, it seems like that almost every single one of them who followed this process, roughly followed this process, you're basically training up your sensitivity. What if it's not a tulpa at all? Maybe it's another voice from on the other side of the pudding skin coming through, and you're literally training yourself to listen. You're making yourself become more sensitive, more self-aware, more sensitive, and able to reach out and accept what's coming across. And what you're receiving is, at first, it's you kind of creating this world, which kind of gives them a passageway through. Then it turns into something more. And then when it takes on kind of a life of its own, you now have given full access, not full access because there's still an interchange between the two, but the parallels between demonic possession and this tulpa, they're extremely similar. Yeah. They're so similar.
I do. Sorry, I don't. For cutting everybody off there, but I do see a lot where people in the forums are adamant that this is not demonic possession. This is not schizophrenia. This is not any of those things. This is all the tulpa is your own creation. But interestingly enough, if when the tulpa becomes sentient and they become it's their own entity. They're no longer just an extension of your thought process. They're going to be very young, naive, things like that. What if a demon was to jump on the tulpa, possess the tulpa? How would you ever know that the tulpa wasn't the tulpa anymore? And
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
They're taking, you're kind of putting yourself out there and you're kind of giving them the vehicle to latch onto it. So I got to thinking about it, and I'm thinking, this might not be like a possession from a ghost. It might not be that, because typically a spiritual possession is going to be somebody communicating with you. Somebody, there's not. it's much more. Even though they're in ghost form, they're still kind of retaining some form of identity. What you're doing as a tulpa is you're creating the identity for them. You're basically creating the vessel to be filled. Is the way I kind of took it. You're like a Trojan horse. You're making the exterior, and then it just gets filled up. And what it gets filled up with, well, it's either chocolate or it could be something demonic.
Tapas.
Trojans.
God.
I wasn't gonna go there, you perv. And that's me calling you that too, of all things, right? In fact, I was looking up demonic possession because I have plenty of time on my hands.
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. Yeah, not me, just hypothetically something. My wife, she had some questions. And it reads, I'm going to read directly from it. Possession might be defined as a direct action of the devil operating on an individual whose own sins had exposed them to this terrible fate. And then it says, it is crucial to realize that a possession can't and won't occur without the consent, however minimal, of the victim. This consent predominantly takes the form of past sins and regrets. Now, in younger people who are creating, I say younger people because I'm getting old, but so say.
I'm sorry everybody. He had to back away from the mic so he could.
Yeah, I could hawk a loogie and not be on the air. And
Paranormal Punchers. I hope you
do a little fart. But yeah, not necessarily regrets, but teens and younger adults and whatnot have angst and they have emotions and they have the hormone fuel of anger and anxiety and all these things that are going in their heads. That why wouldn't that call to something also that they say, okay, well, the demon can see this, can say, well, you're kind of letting me in and you're laying the groundwork for me to exist in your world.
It could dupe the said tulpamancer, like it's
100%.
Focusing on trying to bring this to life, and then things start happening like, oh my God, I did it, not realizing
Right.
Oh no, all you did was give me the ability to possess you, and we're gonna wreck shop here shortly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like you're kind of reaching out your hand to create the handshake, but at first it's your hand. You're creating the visualization, you're creating the body, the environment for this thing to thrive in, and all it has to do is nothing. You do all the legwork, you do all the creating, and then it starts to slowly integrate. It's like dating.
So it's sort of like how, Ultron was creating his physical manifestation, but Thor corrupted it and it became the Vision.
I think it's more like dating. I think it's like dating.
Where's the real
if you
date?
start,
Yeah.
yeah. I think if you start dating somebody and you come on and you say, you know what, first date, I love you. I want to marry you and have a whole family.
First date?
Yeah, on the first date, exactly.
What?
You're going to back off and be like, yeah, no. But if you play it slow, you play the long game, just like what the possession would be doing, then it can come into itself.
Before you know it.
Before you know it, you've let them in. You've opened the door. They come in. They set up shop.
You got 5 kids.
You have 5 kids. You've got
house and
6
mortgage,
horses getting ready to sexually violate you. I mean, it's
Whoa.
weird things are happening
How'd that
on this
happen?
front. Well, the dude, man, he had his tulpa created 6 tulpas.
Now the tulpas are making tulpas?
The tulpa only created 5 more. There were 6
Oh,
total.
sorry. 5 other tulpas. Oh, excuse me, I was way off base.
Now, my first introduction to a tulpa was with the sorry, I botched that whole one word. Was with the TV show Supernatural. I think it was like season 1. There was this cabin in the woods, and there was this whole legend about this guy who killed his family. And I think these dudes were trying to make their own paranormal show. So they went and just painted whatever random symbols. And some of them were actually Tibetan symbols. So everybody on the internet watching their videos, focusing on these symbols, actually brought that story that they were trying to say in this cabin, this guy murdered his family. They brought that tulpa to life. And then Sam and Dean had to go kick its ass. So I always
As they
thought
do.
maybe a tulpa could be brought into a physical situation. And and I know. Go ahead.
Like the Slender Man.
That's
Okay.
one. And also maybe perhaps the Black-Eyed Kids.
Yeah.
Internet's
Yeah.
so focused on that story. Yes, and you're right with the Slender Man Nash. Go with that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Lish, you go with that.
Okay. So the Black-Eyed Kids, there was like an occasional sighting here and there. It would fascinate people and scare them. And then it began to be more prominent. Like people were seeing them a whole lot more. And their approach was usually pretty much the same. So like, I don't know if like the way people were thinking about these Black-Eyed Kids and what they usually do, like it was making them actually come out. Like creating these tulpas with thought.
Physically manifesting
Yeah.
them.
Well, and then also like Dogman, it's the same kind of situation. Publicity began to surface, and so then the phenomenon, it grew and grew, and people started seeing them everywhere. They would repeat the same kind of thing that people would say, oh, this is what they do. They would run out on a road late at night, and they wouldn't necessarily attack you, but then they would just kind of vanish into the night. Like, this is just, I feel like our mind, maybe that's where the mind thought, what is it called? Mind.
Oh, you're grabbing notes. You're
I
looking
know.
back.
I know. What's it called?
Your mind's twisting too
I
much.
know. I have so many thoughts. I'm sorry. Thought form. So like all these different thoughts, people thinking about Black-Eyed Kids, thinking about the Dogmen. Like, are they actually creating these tulpas? Is that what they are? They're not cryptids necessarily. They're tulpas.
Well, yeah. What if Bigfoot is a tulpa?
Right.
We want to believe so bad. It's not. It's Bigfoot's real. I'm just saying. There could be reason why,
Well,
like, not a lot of
why
people
is
see
he
it, or you
real?
get blurry pictures, or you can never find any bodies because you believe so
eat 'em.
strongly in it. When you're out in the woods and you start to manifest and you kind of see it.
Yeah.
That's why nobody.
So
but-
I found one thing that said
Bigfoot's real.
every tulpa requires you to believe in them in order to survive. So what if, some of these creatures, they wouldn't exist if we weren't believing that they were real.
like Santa Claus. When we stopped believing Santa Claus, wasn't that like a movie?
Yeah, I think it was.
Like Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
Like Tinkerbell. If you say you don't believe, one dies.
What?
Right?
Well, the show got dark.
I know.
Right? That was Tinkerbell.
I like how you got but potentially also the British Bigfoot could be a tulpa.
The British Bigfoot. So small island. I mean, it's not small, but you know what I mean. Like versus
Comparatively.
continents and everything.
Yeah.
This island, people have seen this large, hairy ape man, and he just disappears.
Oi, this is Frank the Bigfoot,
Yeah.
and you're listening to the Paranormal Punches.
Oh, God.
He disappears, but they're kind
That
of
was
like,
the British Bigfoot.
they're like,
Sorry to all my friends overseas. All right.
Oh, what's all this then?
how could this creature survive? Like, what would the food be for it? And then
It
also
doesn't need food.
no, but
Salted dick.
they're saying that I was seeing something that they're seeing near stone circles sometimes. So they're thinking tulpas. These are tulpas that were created a long time ago as a guardian of this, this site.
What's that?
So,
They're
question.
Guardians of Stonehenge?
Yeah, these sacred sites, are they guardians?
Hold on, Dave. I
okay.
like where you're headed. Go ahead.
Well, you don't know what I'm going to say yet.
I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
But you can see the
don't.
look in your eyes, bro.
The Well, I guess the question I have, so everything I've been reading is that tulpas aren't necessarily physical manifestations. Is it that, the British Bigfoot and, black-eyed kids and everything are that this idea gets planted and your mind inadvertently creates this concept. And so when you're seeing the British Bigfoot, it's not that there's anything physical there. There is no Bigfoot there. It's the manifestation, the sentient entity in your head is what you see, and that others may not be able to see that same entity if they haven't been exposed to the idea. Or are you thinking, from what you've found in research, that this is actually a physical manifestation?
So I was seeing both. So like,
Okay.
And I was referencing a TV show. So
Yes.
I was seeing that, yes, it's just more like in your mind or whatever. But there are some people that their tulpa is physical for them. Like they can actually touch it and they can hear it and they can, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I feel like it could possibly be.
now,
Well,
go ahead, Dave. Man, you're so chatty. Kevin J's going to call you out again.
I know. Yeah. So while we're on the line of entertainment, one of the things that I actually found while researching the My Little Pony aspect is, but sort of ties into the same thing. There.
Oh my God.
There's a series on Netflix that has a source in a graphic novel called Happy. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to watch this.
Fun show.
Yes. I'm a few episodes into the first season, so I'm just starting it, but everything so far is amazing. Don't watch it with your kids. But this whole concept, it ties in, like, there's a lot of parallels from the My Little Pony. That the tulpa type character, Happy, looks like a My Little Pony. Has a base in the animation there, but the concept comes from this cop who suddenly starts thinking he's hallucinating, but that the tulpa that's interacting with him is a physical manifestation that only he can see, but it was actually created by a little girl that he's trying to find. It's her imaginary friend that hooks onto him and helps him solve a case involving the girl. I don't want to give too much away. It involves Santa. So it's it's a fun series, but at the same time, it's really interesting with that because no one else can see Happy. Well, not no one, but for the most part, no one else can see Happy. It's not like it's physical in the sense that everybody sees Happy, but it's not, the cop did not create Happy in his mind. It was pushed onto him and he suddenly started seeing it and interacting with it, and hilarity ensues. But so it's sort of the same thing of like the British Bigfoot type thing. Is it physical real for everyone? Is it just a mental thing that gets embedded in somebody's head and they just suddenly it's like, I see a Bigfoot there and interact with it?
I like how you said that that show Happy, which now I want to watch Happy Gilmore. You said it was based on a graphic novel. So you're familiar with Alan Moore? He wrote most famous for Watchmen, well, and a bunch of other things. But he also wrote here. Anyway, he saw one of his characters in real life, or to him, it was real life. But to quote Alan Moore, he was in a sandwich bar in London. All of a sudden, up the stairs came John Constantine. He looked exactly like John Constantine. He looked at me, stared me straight in the eyes, smiled, nodded almost conspiratorially. Thanks for the big word, Alan.
Yeah, you got it. Conspiratorially, yeah.
Conspiratorially. And then just walked off around the corner to the other part of the snack bar. It says that Moore contemplated whether he should go around the corner and double check if he really saw his own character, or should he just stay there and eat a sandwich. He actually chose to stay and eat a sandwich. Maybe it was something he just didn't need to learn anymore. Now, here's one that is really really weird. This is by a comic book writer, Doug Moench. Famous, wrote a lot of things in the 70s. He co-creator of Moon Knight. But anyway, to quote here from this book, Mutants and Mystics, Science Fiction, Superhero Comics, and the Paranormal. This is an excerpt from the book. Moench just finished writing a scene from Planet of the Apes comic book about a black hooded gorilla named Brutus. The scene involved Brutus invading a human hero's home, where he grabbed the man's mate by the neck and held a gun to her head in order to manipulate the hero. Just as Doug finished the scene, he heard his wife call for him in an odd sort of way from the living room across the house. He got up, walked the length of the house, and entered the living room, only to encounter a man in a black hood with one arm around his wife's neck and the other holding a gun to her head. It was exactly what I had written. It was so immediate in relation to the writing and such an exact duplicate of what I had written that it became an instant altered state. The air in the room congealed, became almost like a fog, and yet, paradoxically, I could see with greater clarity. I could see the individual threads of the black hood. But obviously again, when you're a writer and you're thinking these characters, you're constantly thinking about these characters. You're forming these characters.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're building these backstories to the characters. You're bringing them essentially to life in your
Creating the
head.
environment. You're doing everything. Your personality. Everything.
Everything that Wiki How talked about how to bring your tulpa to life.
Yeah.
Right.
These writers are doing. And Doug here, he wrote this intense scene, and then it happened in real life to him.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, I don't read that quite necessarily as tulpas. I almost maybe as in maybe there was a psychic connection between him and his wife, and she was projecting what's happening to him, and he was reading it as a storyline. I don't know. But you're right. It's too similar to discount any of that.
But you think anybody who could conjure up a tulpa would be like a writer, somebody who's developing this intense backstory to a character. Everything about this character, so you can write the story. And that makes me wonder. I wrote the Paranormal Punchers comic book. Are you guys tulpas? Dave, I know you are.
Right. Yeah.
No, but I found that seriously, I found that intense and made me think like that. Well, if you could conjure a tulpa, like a writer, somebody who was thinking that intense about a character and everything about this character. So George R.R. Martin. I don't know. Was he kicking it with Cersei at his house? I mean, he just wrote such all that backstory to her.
No, not with her. Ugh, that's the worst. No.
Oh, maybe he likes that.
Based on everything else he's written, that's pretty much what he goes for.
You're true. She lasts until the very, very end. So,
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers, don't watch season 8.
Yeah.
Lish.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I just have a fun fact that some believe that the current Dalai Lama is an reincarnation of Chinrezig, a Tibetan deity. So like that he could be a tulpa, but I don't
Well, if he's
know.
the reincarnated spirit, that's why he's the Dalai Lama.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Because that's kind of the whole gig.
Okay. Well, then never mind. I'm done.
I'm done.
Well, I'm just saying that's what how you know you're the Dalai Lama is you're tested with a few tests to verify that you are the reincarnated spirit of this.
How do you know this crap?
Because I was a
on the
Buddhist for like
internet
10
today.
years. I was a Buddhist for like 10 years. Right outside of college, I was a Buddhist for a number of years.
Okay.
Nice. I was a Buddhist for like 3 months.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Did you stop because you achieved nirvana?
No.
No. No to both of us. Nice.
I tell you what, I'm going to think really hard on
Long
my
and hard.
glass having a fresh beer in it. So why don't we take a break and come back and see if that actually happens?
You're going to drink a tulpa?
Maybe I will.
Maybe. Okay.
This just got weird.
Tulpa juice.
No. Nope. We'll be right back.
Oh my God. Honey, look. It's Bigfoot.
No way. Let's go say hi. Hey, Mr. Bigfoot. What you reading?
You can call me Frank, and I'm reading the Paranormal Punchers comic book.
Paranormal Punchers?
Yeah, it's about a group of podcasters that get themselves in all kinds of paranormal trouble. It's like Scooby-Doo meets the X-Files, and it's hilarious.
Sounds great. Where can we get a copy?
Just head over to paranormalpunchers.com where you can find a comic book and all kinds of merchandise.
Thanks, Mr. Bigfoot. Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too. Oh, and look out for that bear.
And we're back. All right, Tulpas. Is there any tulpamancers out there? Let us know what kind of tulpa you conjured up. I'm curious. Again, not making fun of. We're just having fun with the topic. I'm just curious. So curious that I'm going to go around the room. I'll start with Dave.
Oh,
Dave, if you could conjure up a tulpa, what would it be?
That's a good question.
Would he have to talk? He, she have to talk?
Whatever. It's your tulpa. It could be. It could be whatever.
So definitely, if I created a tulpa, it would stay in my mind. There would be no physical manifestation. There would be no taking over my body. There would be none of that. I don't know what form I'd want it to take. I mean, I'm, probably just a human that would become like the imaginary friend concept, like somebody that I could converse with and, have a friend whenever.
What about me? I'm real. What's wrong with me? I'll converse with you.
Well, you're not up at like 2 a.m. when I can't sleep.
How do you know?
Right.
You want
then
somebody
it
you can
just
hang
gets
off, hang off the edge of a cliff and then step on his hands and drop him into the cliff.
Hey, dude, you awake? That just sounds weird at 2 a.m.
Exactly. With your wife in bed with you right there.
So Dave wants a human tulpa that he could just shoot the breeze with at 2 a.m. That's nice. That's sweet.
I did see that the reason that a lot of people make or create tulpas is because they're lonely. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know.
That's nice. Yeah. Lish, you go.
Can you guess what I would?
Sailor Moon?
No, but that would be cool. No, it would be a cat.
Oh.
And that way,
if I find tulpa cat poop anywhere on the
I knew
carpet.
that was coming up. Yeah, but this way I don't have to clean up their litter box. And
That's the fastest way for you to get a cat, actually.
I know.
So you might as well start working on it.
Start working on this. Yes.
Yeah.
Nash.
I'd bring Herbie back.
Nice.
Aww.
Yeah, he was a good friend. He accompanied me quite a bit. Yeah.
Awesome. I obviously am a broken record, so I would. It would be Frank from the comic book, Frank the Bigfoot. Now, see, because I would like to kick it with him in like fun settings, like at the pub, going on adventures. Like I would recreate the mini bike scene from Dumb and Dumber, and we would ride all the way up into the Rockies.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who would get peed on in that scene. Maybe Frank's riding on the back, and
Who's Big Spoon? Who's Little Spoon?
yeah, maybe yeah. I guess I'd probably be. Little.
Yeah, I think you would be the one.
But I think that would be a
Bigfoot
great
smells
tulpa.
as bad as it does.
No. My tulpa, it would smell like cookies.
Okay. Well,
It's my tulpa.
Yeah, you can
right.
create
True.
it.
I was just going with you said you don't know who gets peed on. I'm like, if a Bigfoot,
I meant because there's a scene where he pees. He's like,
Bigfoot's
just go,
pee
man.
Probably smells terrible. It's
Well,
like
no.
asparagus times 10.
It's my tulpa, so it would be like lemonade.
Eliminating cookies.
But
So
now
we're
I'm also a huge comic book nerd and maybe slightly evil. So I think also I would.
Oh God.
I mean, like, wouldn't you want to conjure a tulpa that maybe, like the Hulk, something can cause destruction? Maybe, I don't know.
Well,
But when you lose control, then it's all over.
Right.
Okay, so that leads me to a question of, if you would pick a spirit creature, because that's who you would most likely create your tulpa, right? Would be the one that embodies your spirit the most, or who would accompany you. What would your spirit creature be?
Oh, dang. All right, who's going first?
Alicia.
It's a cat.
Yeah, it's a cat. It's
Done
always a
deal. See,
cat.
that's why I said you first. 'Cause it was so easy.
It's always a cat.
Mark?
Man, after this weekend, dude, with the world's strongest bro and lifting heavy things and having a good time, I feel like I'd want my spirit animal tulpa to be like a silverback. Something
Silverback or
strong
Wow.
that just pick up stuff and chuck it and or Bigfoot.
Or Bigfoot. Okay, Dave?
I just lost the word. The world's largest rodent.
Ooh.
A muskrat?
ROSS?
No. It's hold on. You go, Nash. I gotta
A
Google this
wombat?
quick. Nope.
So it's funny because I've given this a lot of thought lately.
Oh, God.
Okay, because we watched this show, His Dark Material, and on that show they have their little demons running around that they can talk to, that are out there, actually physical manifestations, these creatures that you can talk with, and it's supposed to embody your spirit the most. So I was just going through animals and animals and animals, trying to figure out what my spirit animal would be. And I was thinking like silverback, and I thought, no, wouldn't be a bear. No. So what I came up with is the most absurd thing you can possibly think of. And it was no. And it was I think it's a yak.
My God.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. This big one with the horns and all that hair and fur.
And all the hair is snowbound in like the north, the very far north, running in herds, but still good on his own stoic. And I was like, I think that would be my guy.
That's
I
nice.
think I would be like,
Man, when you present it like that, then I lied. If I was my honest spirit animal, I think I'd be a Labrador Retriever.
Ooh.
Because I'm always shot out of a cannon, always ready to do whatever. Let's have fun. Let's do something. Come on, guys. Who's ready to do something? I think I'd probably be more like a lab.
No, I'm
and
definitely
then you walk by,
a cat.
people walk by and you go, shut up! Quit talking! Shut up!
No, that's just me to my German Shepherd.
Oh, that's German Shepherd, not lab.
If I was a lab, people would be like, yeah, let's play.
Like, what's up, Dave?
So I did find the name capybara. Capybaras are friends with everybody. If you Google that meme, you'll see a capybara sitting there with like absolutely every kind of animal. They're just friends with everybody. They're chill, have fun, relax, and enjoy people.
There you go. That's it.
All right. So that is our spirit animal tulpas. Mm-hmm. What is yours out there? Let us know.
Yeah, and think about it for a little while. What embodies your personality, who you think you are versus who you really are, and come up with something. Let us know.
And if you could if you could manifest a physical tulpa that people could see and it would cause trouble, would you, or not cause trouble, would you lean more towards Marvel? Like Thor? Or Marvel the Hulk?
Puckwudgie.
A Puckwudgie. Easily defeated with a front kick to the face.
That's right. Because he would get into mischief and he'd be like, son of a gun. And he'd go over and he'd boot him. And then 5 minutes later, he'd be back.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Kevin J, Ray-Bans. Hopefully you enjoyed us talking about your suggested topic.
Can I throw in one last thing?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Everybody's like curious why Dave continues to speak so much.
Right. I've had a lot to drink. Anyways, the name Tulpas is wrong for what we're discussing.
What do you mean?
And so as part of my research found that basically back in 28, whoever wrote that thing misapplied the term. She misread the Tibetan term, and that tulpas as a term is a mental projection, but it's more like an astral body or illusion. Basically, if it can't be seen by other people, it's not a tulpas. So your mental manifestation is not a tulpas. But that mistake has actually become the commonplace term. So now it is right. It's just wrong in its etymology. So,
Dun, 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 dun.
yeah.
Now you know. All right. That was a ton of fun. Let's jump into some listener.
I have a question.
Oh, God.
I have a question.
You have a question?
I have a question.
All right.
When are we going to introduce tulpamancers to D&D?
Oh.
Well, we did reference something earlier about tulpa, people trying to envision it themselves. So for you guys, a doppelganger isn't far off from your D&D future.
Envisioning, that's what I'm telling you. A necromancer, or not necromancer, but a tulpamancer who you come to battle. He creates doppelgangers for you to fight.
So actually in Van Rechten's guide, the dark gift, the one dark gift is the shadow. And your shadow starts to do things. It's with you or against you. And it's kind of got a mind of its own. It's kind of cool. So that's kind of like a tulpas.
Yeah. Not tapas.
Right.
I could go for some tapas.
You know what I wanted to do, because Ray Bans and I were joking back and forth on Discord, that we should just make tapas while we do the discussion. The title of the show would be Tulpas with Tapas. But we're not doing this in person, so I didn't make any tapas for anybody.
You can rectify that next time.
Yes, I can. Yeah. All right, jumping into listener feedback. Quick shout out to some new Patreon members, Robert and Jason. What's up? Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. Yeah. To our Patreon listeners. Hey, I know we slacked off a little bit in June, but it was wicked hot. And it's our fault.
It is,
but we got a lot of cool stuff coming. I hope you're enjoying the content over there. For as low as $1 a month, you can see you can listen to some cool stuff. You can see some cool stuff coming up in the future.
Yeah.
If we get off our lazy butts and do it. All right.
Not if, we will.
I want to start this listener feedback off with a little correction from the last episode. So we talked about Coral Castle, if y'all remember. And Lish said that the place was built out of coral limestone.
Yes, she did. I remember that. And it was like, huh?
Now,
whatever.
Now, obviously, it was limestone.
I just had a
but none of us corrected her because I promise you that I'm accurate on this. Nobody corrected her because we were afraid that I might actually be wrong if we corrected her. So we let her roll with limestone. And then I
think I just said it the one time, right?
You did. It was just the once.
Okay.
Then
I was having
just that once.
I was having many moments in the last episode. So.
And I know I wanted to jump in with a du hast. Oh, is that rock minded by Ramstein? Coral limestone? Thank God I didn't. But I just sort of did.
Yeah.
But I know I didn't correct it because I actually don't even know.
Yeah.
Coral limestone might actually be a thing.
No, that's what the coral limestone is what you drink out of.
The new mugs coming to you soon.
No, it's the ceramic. You just put lime in it.
Yeah. That's the mug club at Coral Castle.
Right. That's right.
The limestone club.
It's $35 for a year and you get a mug. It's a commemorative mug.
It's a limestone.
It's a limestone.
We heard from Old Stuff Yellowbird, Drunken Squatch. That's in reference to the 5-star Apple review we got by handle Drunken Squatch. Drunken Squatch sounds like a cool name for a bar. Have it be something like Dave and Buster's, even though I haven't been there, only seen the commercials. Maybe Bigfoot or cryptid themed.
I like that.
I like it. The Drunken Squatch. Yes. Hey, Old Stuff Yellowbird, this is not the first time that this group has sat around and thought up of a cryptid-themed pub or at least cryptid-themed beers to serve somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's the last time you might hear about this.
Yep.
So, yes, we think alike, dude. We heard from Birdie Cuda. on the Twitters at Punchers. Hey, guys. I don't know why I had to say our handle. Hey, guys. Obviously,
Twice.
Obviously, if he's tweeting us, we know where it's at.
Yeah.
One more time. Hey, guys.
Yeah, here comes the third one.
I have a couple of topics for the show. One is the legend of the black dog. It's a big black dog that appears to long-haul truckers while they're driving. Also, lone staircases that show up in a random place in the woods. Keep up the good work. All right.
Wait, what?
Right. Let's unpackage this quickly. All right. So first off, I'm curious about the black dog because it appears to long-haul truckers. Now, they are driving long hours, sometimes late at night. I'm interested in why they see this black dog.
Right.
And is the black dog a tulpa?
We do have a very nice long haul trucker who listens and posts quite often.
Hey, Kromos, what's up, man?
Yeah,
We have a couple. I think we have a couple
Actually,
truckers
yeah.
We have a
that
couple.
get supplies to this country.
Yeah, that's
And-
right. Who can
and-
chime in with that?
Have you guys ever read the series Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? As a kid, they were like the kids' version of the horror stories. I'm pretty sure they had something about the black dog. I don't think it had something to do with a trucker, though, in that story. I want to go back and read those now, if and when we do that topic. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Very interesting. We'll put it on the list. And the other topic idea was lone staircases that I guess just appear in the woods.
This is like I need to know more about
I
this.
know.
Like Jacob's Ladder kind of a thing?
I
Or
don't know.
what?
You remember we talked about that place in Waco where there was that one staircase?
Yeah, but I don't think
didn't
it
just appear, but again,
Yeah.
would you just start walking up a staircase in the middle of the woods?
Yes.
It depends on the staircase, but probably, yeah. And in fact, I might even pee off the top of it.
Oh, jeez.
And I mean, unless the staircase leads to another dimension and you're peeing in that dimension, so everybody in this dimension.
There's still nothing wrong with that.
All right. Or he's peeing back in this dimension, depending on which way he aims.
Yeah, see, and that's just it. If it reflects the biomatter that I'm throwing on it, then it shoots it back. Or if it's like Portal, to where it goes through a portal and then comes through somewhere else. Oh, that's even better. I'm doing it.
So this is episode 117. 100. Have we actually able to bring up bodily fluids in every single episode we've ever done?
Well, maybe. And tapas. I
think so. I think
and
so.
pudding skin.
Well, no, there were a number of episodes before Nash started.
That's true.
That's true.
But
That's
not-
true.
I'm sure we still
There's
brought
only-
up bodily fluids.
Yeah, there was only 9 before him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was
So-
on episode 10.
Yeah.
And there was only, in those 10 episodes, Dave only made 6, I think.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. 7.
So what would you do at the top of that staircase?
Well, first off, it's a leap of faith, right?
Maybe it's not. Maybe like what Dave said, maybe it just keeps going and we only see the earthbound connection and not once it goes through the pudding skin to the other side, it's one continuous staircase. Yeah. We only see the bottom portion.
I'm thinking a leap of faith like in Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade. You can't see anything else, but you got to take that step off and then boom, you're in that other dimension.
That was a terrible thing. That was the worst.
Well, okay.
Whoa,
We're stopping
no,
the show right now to discuss this. Are you going to say that The Last Crusade was the worst?
No, what I'm saying is that particular trap in The Last Crusade was the worst.
Why? I think it was great, the way they carved the rock so you couldn't tell it was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't carve it. You had to paint that.
God. Nash.
I just, I didn't mind the saw things, the giant buzz saw made from the Crusades. How did the buzz saws even work from the Crusades? And
Dave, school.
You missed the first 9 episodes. This might be your last one.
don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. I thought it was. I actually really enjoyed that movie. The Indiana Jones, the first 3 are fantastic. I really enjoyed them.
Anything with Sean Connery, you can't say anything bad, no matter how bad it is. You can't say anything bad.
Well,
only a leap from the lion's head.
But I
Will you
do
prove
think
worthy?
that the actual traps in that particular, where the Grail is, were a little
What are you talking about? They were great traps, and they were all tied to the things his dad had written down
Right.
in his,
I know.
his Grail journal.
Penitent man will
The
pass.
penitent man, you know, and I liked that part of
And
it.
then he was like, a penitent man kneels before God. And then he missed that buzzsaw.
Why was there? So
And
that
then the next
buzzsaw-
one was like the name of God, but it was in old Speak. I forget the
Old
movie.
Speak.
So he was going. Yeah, he had to step on the right. Yeah, he was going to step on. Either way, that was a cool trap. And then the optical illusion of that bridge not being there.
That was didn't hold up. I disagree.
What do you mean didn't hold up?
I didn't like the buzzsaws, and I didn't like the optical illusion trap.
All right, I can allow you to not dig the optical illusion trap.
Yeah.
How could you not dig the buzzsaws?
When was that had to be? When did that have to be created?
Well, the knight had how many thousands of years to come up with that?
Yeah,
Yeah, did he have mechanical things in his like
the
sword
knight
and
had
shield
steel.
and chainmail?
If he already had steel, it was the age of iron. They could have had their blacksmith pound out some buzzsaws.
He was there alone, man.
He was just taking care
did he
of the
like
traps.
track in these giant buzzsaw blades and some mechanics to make them work and some levers and pulleys and ropes and stuff and
If
chains?
the ancient Egyptians can get those rocks
I know.
and make a
see the
pyramid,
ancient Egyptians.
they
He
can
was
make
in the-
buzzsaws.
He was in the Gaza Strip. He wasn't in Egypt. Give me a break. Shit.
It wasn't the same.
Maybe that was the same. Maybe that knight was the dude who built the Coral Castle.
Right?
Now it's starting to come together.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, it's not coming to. I have a feeling your favorite Indiana Jones is part 4.
Oh no! It's the crystal skull.
Yeah, that's your favorite.
Oh, with what was it?
Who's that actor? That's your favorite actor in the world. I know it is. Shia LaBeouf.
Just do it, LaBeouf. I just didn't dig on the whole mechanical nature of the traps.
Well-
If there were like sword blades that swung out or something like that,
It was. It's one of. It is an excellent, outstanding movie. It's one of the best in the series. And that's what you're going to focus on, not overall the great acting,
the rest
just
of the
the
movie
great
is fantastic.
storytelling,
The CGI, bugs
the great
me on that
direction.
movie.
The CGI.
Yeah, the CGI doesn't hold up. I have a hard time with it.
Well, fans of Twister. Oh, now you have something
the
else to
worst.
be upset
I
about.
know.
The whole point of that movie is to put balls in the air. Oh boy, woo!
And going back to Birdie Cuda,
Yeah.
the topics were black dog that long haul truckers see and random staircase in the woods. Somehow we got to Indiana Jones.
I know.
Sorry.
Everybody almost got a bonus episode just talking about the
Just talking about
concept of
Indiana
the
Jones.
Wow. Wow. We heard from Gold_Andy. That's our friend Andy. One of Brandon Lee's jackets from the film is on display at, guess everybody.
Hard Rock Cafe.
I can read it.
Zach
so-
Bagans Museum.
Yeah.
It is believed to be the one worn during the accident because it does have tears, holes, and stains, but it hasn't been confirmed. Of course, Zach Bagans would have this.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Was he wearing? I don't remember him wearing a jacket during that scene.
Oh, there was
on
a
top
lot
of
of. I don't know what scene it, in particular it was where
Yeah.
he actually was shot.
He was shot when he was on top of like a pool table. They were in a room. He was like on
Yeah, he always
like
had
a,
that.
a conference room table kind of a thing. They were sitting around, and he was on top of it.
He got shot
and
a
they
whole
were kinda
bazillion times in that scene.
No. That it was the execution scene where he was where they held him up and I forget the bad guy's name with the 44 aims and shoots him and they throw him out or shoots him out the window or whatever. It was basically the execution scene was the execution
From the very beginning, but it
Yeah.
happened at the
Right,
very
shot
end.
out of because they shoot out of sequence.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
wow, that's insane. But again, I'm not surprised. I just figure everything paranormal is at Zach's museum.
Pretty
so
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he probably actually has a tulpa there under ice or something.
Right.
That's where we're recording from, don't you know?
We're from Zach Bagans Museum. He has us trapped there.
Oh,
He has
no.
us trapped in there. That's right.
What if
And
we live
somehow
in a
you guys
world
have-
created by him? Like we're all just
What if we're
tulpas about him.
tulpas?
The physical manifestation, creating physical manifestations, peeing off stairways in the forest.
What if
Or
this
we're just
show's
in his
only
wonderland.
going to Zach Bagans for his own entertainment, but we think other people like it?
Yeah.
Zach, let us know if that's true, man.
Let us out, please.
Right, let us out. All right, so we have a weird situation here that our friend Matthew sent us a message about. So, hey, quick question. So, I work in a warehouse, and only me and the boss has the key. There are 2 metallic mannequins in there, and they keep getting moved every time I lock up and come in the next morning.
Oh, God.
Throw them out.
I went out for delivery and came back, and both of the heads of them were sitting on top of the rafters. And my boss is on vacation, so I'm freaking out about this.
What?
Hire Nick Cage.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the warehouse has been in his boss's family for 4 generations. He also said, he's like one of them has a colored mohawk, and it changed the color yesterday to bright pink.
Out. Shred them. Gone.
And he said there's no signs of a break-in, and the warehouse has a big steel door. So he was going to go get a camera, and I asked him for an update. So his update is, so I saw a little something on the video, a small, tiny orb thingy. But things around there seem to be getting weirder.
Oh, God.
Matthew, I keep us updated. I don't know. I had said to him, like, do you think kids are breaking in and just messing with you? That's where he was like, no, there's no signs of a break-in. Got a big locked steel door. But something is moving these mannequins around.
So if you record and set up recording devices, that'll be a tax write-off, and you won't actually have to pay for them. And you can take all those DVR recordings and play them over and over.
Oh, hey, yeah, Matthew, let your boss know that you're going to raid the entire warehouse with cameras. It's a write-off.
It is. It's a security feature.
I'm with you. I think that's a great idea because we need this thing rigged up, and we need to have it be able to broadcast to all the puncher listeners.
Right?
So
just
we'll
remember-
watch for weird things for you.
Oh, my God.
That's right.
So-
and just remember, when the cameras are rolling, don't do anything other than your job. Trust me on this.
Well, there's a story. Were you caught doing something that you shouldn't have been?
I know there's a no comment in there on that one. So, and Dave, you were saying something?
Yeah. Not to bring it up for the second time in the same episode, but Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. The one story in there, it's called Harold, and it's about these 2 brothers that go up to their farmland and they build a scarecrow. They name it Harold. And over the course of the season, Harold starts by just twitching and eventually becomes moving and eventually just gets up and walks away.
Oh.
It really sounds like this whole scenario. Like these mannequins are just getting more and more animated.
But why? Because something's thinking deeply
knows?
about them or something's possessing them?
It's kind of creepy. And in the story, there were 2 brothers. Here, there are 2 people with the keys. And I'll just say that if there's 2 of you with the keys, don't be the one that goes back to lock up last.
Always check the back of the car before you get in. And don't lock up last, and make sure you run faster than the other guy.
And the other guy. Yeah.
Now, in the 80s, there was a movie about a dude that fell in love with a mannequin, and that mannequin then came to life.
Yes.
I think the movie was called Mannequin.
Mannequin. Yeah.
And Mannequin 2.
Was
That's the Boogaloo.
Mannequin a tulpa? Did he think about this thing so hard that
I think he was doing something else so hard.
that he brought this mannequin to life? Is that
Yeah.
kind of tulpa-ish?
I don't think so, because I don't think it's not about tulpas aren't about making something physical happen in the world. It's about creating an entity with your mind.
Yeah.
And then maybe it possesses something.
And then having romantic interludes with it.
Well, what about the movie Weird Science? Now they were using technology, but they still were thinking really hard about making this. Kelly I forget her name. But you guys know the movie Weird Science. Was that a tulpa? Because even though they were using a computer, they were thinking really hard. They put underwear on their head and everything.
That was pure science.
No,
Science!
Science! Weird science!
I was going to say, it wasn't science, it was weird science.
You're stewed, buttwad. The great Bill Paxton was in that. Do you have a problem with that movie, Nash?
No, I enjoy that movie.
Everything is 100% accurate.
Yeah. It's a fun movie.
I am actually a bit flabbergasted, godsmacked that you had comments about Indiana Jones 3.
I enjoyed the movie, and the trilogy is wonderful.
What was that?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Are you bringing the tulpa to life?
It was a tulpa finding its way out.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for the topic, Kevin J. and Ray Bands. And also, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of movie fights, which is probably copyrighted, but with the Paranormal Punchers. So maybe we'll fight about a movie another time, maybe on Patreon. I have no idea.
If you're a penitent man.
God.
I might create a giant tapa to smash on you every time you make fun of a movie that's excellent.
That would be like a chip with some nacho stuff on there.
See, I think you would like that, though.
I would. I'd be in heaven. And some chorizo on there.
Well, everybody, you can't get any weirder. So remember, if it's not weird,
It's not worth checking out.